Good evening, family, friends, and fans. This is Stephanie Derrick coming back to you again. It's a Saturday night tonight, and I'm here for you. And I just want to have a few things to say. Give me about 15 minutes, and I'm going to say it all. All right, so if you read in the comments, this is very important, at least in my opinion. You can chime in. Hey, brother, good to see you. And it says, why I started learning about real estate and why you should start investing ASAP. I think it's an important subject, so I'm going to go on and get started. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of history of why I actually got into real estate. First of all, I've always had an interest. At 18 years old, I went to my first real estate seminar. Hello, Cousin Mona. Good to see you. I went to my very first real estate seminar, and it said something like this: no money down. You can purchase your first house. No money down. And I was like, wow, that sounds great. So I went out there, listened to the entire spiel at this real estate seminar. 18. I was like probably the youngest person in the room. Hello, Marcus. So good to see you. Miss you over here in Texas. Hi, Jerry. Good to see you. Hi, Miss Veronica. Oh, my goodness. It's one of my co-workers that we used to work together. Good to see you. So what happened is after the seminar, I was like, because I was very green. I didn't know anything about this kind of business. And I was like, well, they didn't say how we can get the property no money down. And they started talking about these products that cost like $500, and you can meet with the real estate guru for $1,000. So at the end of the seminar, I came up to the person and said, well, you didn't go over the no money down. And he was like, you can't really get property no money down. I said, so why did you advertise no money down if you can't get property no money down? Well, it's the best way to get you all in the door. And then he said, you have good credit? I said, I don't have any credit. He's like, when you get some good credit, he said, I'll give you a couple of things of advice. When you get some good credit, get some money saved up in the bank, then come and see me. And I was like, what? Oh, man, he's just yanking my chain. So at 18, that was the advice that I received. I didn't know anybody else who had dealt in real estate or anything from that point. So then I went on and did what I needed to do. Hi, Marva. Good to see you. I went on and did what I needed to do in, just going on about my career, get my teaching certificate and going on about life. Okay. Still had an interest in real estate. I still had a very deep interest. So I was like, well, okay. So this is what happened. And my brother's on the line. Hopefully he's still on the line. But my grandmother had passed away. Okay. And this is my mom's mother. And she passed away. And she lived out of the state. So no one lived really close to her. So we had to fly to her and try to make arrangements for her funeral because she died suddenly. Hello, Miss Donna and Latrice. Good to see you. So when she died suddenly, we had to handle her estate. And we had to find out what she owned and all of these kind of things. Because a lot of stuff like that, we just really don't know. Most of us, you can say me if you don't know what your relatives own, like your mother, father, brother, sister. Just say me in the comments if you don't really know what they own. Because it's the truth. I really just didn't know, and my mom didn't either. But my grandmother had a house. So then, in our family, we didn't know anybody who had been doing any kind of work in real estate. So we looked around. We was like, okay, well, we don't know much about this. But at the time, my mom's husband was a realtor. Okay, so he was a realtor, so he knew about real estate, but the situation that we were in was a little different. So we couldn't find a will. And if you can't find a will to the property, then we don't know who it needs to go to. So that was the first thing. We just didn't know. Who does this house go to? So we tore the house up looking for a will. We never did find. So from that point, that means that the house has to go into probate. And to go into probate takes anywhere from 6 to 7 months, you all. 6 to 7 months. Now, this particular house, it was a nice house in its state. It was in very good condition, but the house still had a mortgage on it. So it still had to be paid. But none of us lived there. So we didn't know what to do. Hello, Miss Cree. Good. Thank you. Yes, make notes in there. You all, Cree is a realtor here in the DFW area. So if y'all need any real estate needs, go see Cree. Okay. And once it went into probate, here was the problem. All of the family, we just did not have that extra money to pay that note for 6 or 7 months, you all. So then what do? The house was in excellent condition. If we didn't know what to do, we actually couldn't sell either because it wasn't in anyone's name except for my grandmother who was passed away. So what do? We didn't know what to do. Okay. So we went to the realtor, stepfather that I had, and he was like, you need to sell. I said, but we can't sell. And we were like, okay, so what do we do now? And this is how I got into real estate. Because once we didn't have an answer from our stepfather, and the only answer he had for us was to sell, this is how I entered into real estate. Do you know what the real answer was to this question? And it was very simple, actually. But if you know nothing about real estate, you wouldn't know that answer. Just to be honest, you just don't know. That's why you go to a professional and try to seek out help. So what happened was, this real story, real truth. What happened was, it was a simple answer, but it was too late, you all. We didn't have the money to make the payments. The house ended up in foreclosure, probably after 4 months, possibly. Now, mind you, we had to bury our grandmother. You know, you're already going through grief and you're going through all of that other stuff. But then you have this property you need to be concerned about. We only needed to do one thing. You want to know what it is? Rent the property. Just that simple. Rent the property. That's it. Now, I got very concerned when my stepfather, who'd been in real estate for years and years, didn't even have that solution, didn't even give a solution except for sale. That's the only thing he said. I promise to y'all. That's when I joined real estate and I started learning about the business, because I said, if we can lose a property, when you lose a property, that is like losing your inheritance. That's like losing everything that your grandmother has worked and slaved over. And because we didn't have appropriate paperwork in order and we didn't know what to do, it was like taking inheritance from my parents and her brothers and sisters. It was like taking it away, like stealing it. So I decided to start learning about the business after that transaction. I did not want anyone else, including myself, any of my family members, any of my friends, anybody that I knew who were having a real estate problem. I wanted them to have some kind of real estate solution to the problem. At least give them a solution. If you didn't know what to do, at least pick up the phone and ask. We didn't know. So that's why I started learning real estate. So somebody is going to know what to do. So we will not be losing our property, our rights, our inheritance. That could have been to the children's children, could have went to the grandkids, could have went to the great grandkids. So I know it's somebody out here who may have had this same situation, and it was a very simple solution. We could have just put a renter in there. The mortgage was $1,000. The renter could have paid the $1,000. And in lieu, while we were waiting, they would have been making the payment while we were getting the probate paperwork in order for them to show real title to the true heirs. And once the heirs got their paperwork, then they could choose to sell the house or rent it out or whatever they wanted to do. But it's like losing inheritance. Is anybody who's on the line, have you lost inheritance like that or know of a story like that? If you do, just chime in and say me. Now, that is the reason that I started investing in the real estate. And here is the reason why you should start investing. Now, I'm going to give you my grandfather's story. Okay? Hello, Ralph. Good to see you. Clarence, I'm glad. I hope you're on there still. Now, my grandfather's story, this is anybody's story. This is any of us who's on here right now. Any of us starting today. Okay? Hey, Ralph, how are you? So if you're starting today, let's just say we're gonna say you're 25. Everybody on here, we 25. I know some of y'all in the third quarter, some in the fourth quarter, some is in overtime. But I'm in the third quarter. I'm 50. But we're gonna say everybody in this room is 25 years old right now. Okay, you got your first decent job. You're working. You're doing okay. We're not saying you're balling and you're a millionaire. We're not saying that. But let's say you're 25. So I'm going to give you kind of like my grandfather's story. When he was a very young man, he ended up buying his first house. He had his wife, small family, and they stayed in that house maybe 5-8 years or so. Then they outgrew that house, and he kept the house, okay? He found another house that he liked better. It was a little larger, so he kept the first house. He's now about 31, 32 or so, and he moved into the second house. And the second house did him some justice, got the kids up till their teenage years now, probably stayed there 5-6 more years. And then he still had the first house, and now he has the second house. So then once the kids got out of school, they kind of started graduating and stuff like that. Then him and his wife said, okay, well, I think we want to move over here on the other side of the tracks. Let's move over to this really nice house over here we've seen. So then they went on and journeyed over to their third house, okay? Now their third house, they went on and kept the first and the second house, and now they're in their third house. Now this is his life. This is a real story. This is his life. He didn't plan to buy real estate. He just bought real estate on his way, along the way. This is some of us, we have real estate along the way. This is how we do it. So he had a VA loan because he was in the military. And once you sell your house, or you can apply for a VA loan, maybe to get your first house, then he may have put some money down on the second house. May have put some money down on the third house. I don't know how he did it, but he had 3 houses. So by the time my grandfather started to lose his memory through Alzheimer's, I really didn't even know he had those houses. I really didn't, because by the time I came around, I only knew the third house. I didn't know the first nor the second house, but my mother and her siblings did. So all I'm saying to you is, when you get to the fourth quarter or get to your retirement age, the first house and the second house and the third house was paid off by the time my grandfather was 65 or so of age. So let's just say that the very first house brings in $500 a month. That's $500 a month passive income, you all. That means you didn't have to go to work to go get that money. That money comes in every month on time because somebody's living in the house, taking care of the house, and sending you a check. All right, so now $500 coming in. Now let's say the second house is a little bit larger, so you can charge a little bit more rent over there. So let's say it's $700 a month. Well, remember, it's paid off. So this was just living life, and that's how we got to this point. So now that house is paid off, the second house. So now you're getting $700 passive income a month. So we got $500 plus $700 coming in, right? Is that not the truth? That's the truth. How much that add up to? $1,200 a month? Okay. Now, if you're a retired person and you had an extra $1,200 a month, I hope that would be helping you. Just say me if that will help you. Type in me if $1,200 a month that you didn't go to work to go get will help you. Okay, I don't know. Nobody ain't saying nothing, but maybe that's not your situation. It's okay. But I'm glad you're here. So now the third house, he didn't have to pay rent on that house anymore. He didn't have to pay a mortgage. So he's living debt free, have that money coming in. If he decided to go anywhere else, which actually that's exactly what happened because my grandfather ended up getting married again. That's another whole story, but he ended up moving out of the third house. Oh, thanks, Mona. You're right. So he ended up moving out of the third house. And once he moved out of the third house, that house can rent for $1,000 a month. So now my grandfather is bringing in $2,200 free and clear a month coming in. And all he did was live. He didn't make big plans and say, when I'm 25, I'm going to buy me 3 houses. That's not, he was just living. He bought the first house and then went on to the second house, went on to the third house. And then actually after his wife died, he went on to the fourth house and got a new wife. So look, you don't never know what's going to happen in your life. But please understand that real estate is a great investment, but you got to start. If you are continuing to rent, you are throwing your money away in some kind of way. Do whatever's necessary. Get your credit straight. Look at all of that. If you're a first-time home buyer, there are homes that you can get in your price range. It might not be the best neighborhood you would choose first, but it's in a neighborhood that you could live in temporarily for a while to get started. And once you get that home, then you can stay there for a year. And then after that, you can move out and then rent your house out and let someone else pay that mortgage for you. Let someone else take care of your mortgage. Please understand there are some other things that go into real estate investing. There are some other things. That's when you need to call me and fill out a submission form so we can talk. Oh yeah, this is represented by my company called Heavenly Real Estate Services. So Heavenly Real Estate Services, what I do in this company is I buy, sell, and flip houses and also property manage here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I am also a property manager for the ones who don't know that. But this is what I do. And I have my link in the description up at the top. So you're clicking in, you can subscribe. I do post some videos, post information about some important things on that website. And I'll be in contact, okay? So Heavenly Real Estate Services. So you don't know how much real estate can help you in your future, because one thing also, this is very important part. Hello, Nakia, and hi, Natalie. Oh my goodness, Natalie's one of my old choir members. So good to see you. So when you are buying real estate, there's also one upside to real estate too that I didn't say. Real estate goes up in value. You might have bought it at $50,000 in the year 2000, but in the year 2015, that $50,000 house could be worth $100,000 15 years later. And all you did was live in it. All you did was just buy it and took care of it, did what you're supposed to do. But it's one way to start building equity instead of just throwing your money away. So don't just throw your money away. You want to build some equity. Get something in there. So I know I didn't went over my time. I wasn't trying to go over my time, but I did want to explain and give you a better idea of why I do real estate and why you should too. If you need any help or any services, anything I can do to help you, you just go and click into heavenlyrealestateservices.com and leave me a submission form, and I will sure do that. What about a rent-to-own home? Okay, a rent-to-own home, they're going to ask you to come up with some down payment up front. And what they're doing is they're asking you to take care of the home, almost just like a regular renter, except you have a set price for the home up front. You have a set price for the home. So you might go to the house and they may say, I want $3,000 down. So they want some of their money up front. And then what you're doing is you're promising to get your own financing in your name. That means getting your bank loan by this certain date. And if you don't get it by that certain date, they can keep your money, your down payment, if you don't get your own loan by the date that you all have agreed upon. So that's how the rent-to-own program works. And it can work. It can work on a duplex. It can work on a townhome, work on houses. It can work on apartments, small apartment complexes. So, and if you don't have any money, how about this? If you want to get in the real estate game and get started, I'm going to come back and teach you that one. Okay, so I can help you make some money, some extra money. Remember, we discussed side hustles, and that's one of the side hustles that you can definitely do. All right. Hello, Miss LaDonna. Good to see you. Glad you joined in. So you all, anybody else have any other questions about the real estate game and why you should start investing? I'm asking now. Oh, you all, I forgot to put my makeup on. Okay, I just realized that right now. This is the way I always look. So no questions, nothing like that. Okay, just in case you haven't been following me, I've been coming on every day. That's for all my people who are out here. I've been coming on every day. You are welcome to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Stephanie Derrick, and hit the YouTube channel, and then you can catch up on all my other videos of all the information that I've been sharing with you all. So I know I have 4 eyes on me right now. That's what it says. I'm just so glad that you all decided to tune in with me. You said, Melvin said, is it best just to get a loan to buy a house? If you can qualify for the loan. If you can qualify for the loan, get a loan. It's like this. If you can get a house, the way they have it set up, the house is worth $100,000, but all they asking is that you leverage about $10,000, 10%. And if you're a first-time home buyer, they only want 3%. So 3%, $3,000 of $100,000. I think that's a great leverage technique. That's not asking a whole lot for something worth $100,000, and you only had to pay $3,000 to get it. So do that as many times as necessary. And whether you want to make the payment or not, rent it out. If you don't want to make the payment, rent it out. It does help. And then in your future, you will see something completely different. Just let time take its course. Hello, Miss Tina. So glad to see you. Glad you chimed in. All right. Oh, hi, Rosalind. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're in. Now, you all, you're going to have to catch the replay because you know I done went past my time. It is 24 minutes and 52 seconds, almost 25 minutes. So, you know, what I'm about to say. Everybody, you have a wonderful, wonderful night, and